Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lauren with Woven Whimsies. Today we are going over everything about yarn. Knowing about different types of yarn is crucial before starting to crochet because it influences the texture, appearance, and durability of your project. Each type of yarn has specific characteristics such as thickness or weight, fiber content, and elasticity, which can impact the final outcome of your project. So we will be going over yarn types, yarn weight, yarn materials, pros and cons of popular yarn, and how to find the right yarn for your project. First up, let's talk about natural yarns. These are made of fibers that come from plants or animals. Think wool, cotton, linen, silk. They tend to have that beautiful, breathable quality and are biodegradable, so they're great for the planet. Take wool, for example. It's incredibly soft, warm, and has a great drape, which is perfect for garments. Cotton is light, breathable, and smooth, ideal for summer projects like shawls or dishcloths. And linen, well, it's super strong and gets softer the more you use it. Now the downsides? Natural yarns can be pricier than synthetic options, and they often need special care. Some, like wool, require hand washing to keep them in top condition. But if you're into luxury and sustainability, these yarns are totally worth it. Next, let's look at synthetic yarns. These are made from man-made fibers like acrylic, nylon, or polyester. Synthetic yarns are usually much more affordable than the natural ones, and they're super easy to take care for. They're machine washable and come in a huge range of colors and textures. Acrylic yarn is good for anything like scarves, blankets, has a lot of versatility. But there are a few cons. Synthetic yarns can pill over time, which means little fuzzy balls may form on the surface. They're also not as breathable as natural fibers, so if you're making a cozy sweater that you might find it a little warm to wear for long periods. And of course, they're less eco-friendly since they're made from petroleum-based materials. Now let's talk about blended yarns, which are exactly what they sound like, a mix of natural and synthetic fibers. For example, you might find wool acrylic blends or cotton silk blends. These blends offer the best of both worlds. The natural fiber gives you that softness and drape, while the synthetic fiber adds durability and makes the yarn easier to take care for. Blended yarns are great for everyday wearables like sweaters and scarves, but keep in mind, while you get some of the benefits of both types, you may lose a little bit of the unique properties of the pure fibers like wool's full warmth or cotton's lightness. Finally, we have specialty yarns. These are the fun ones. You can find metallic yarns, mohair, angora, and even more exotic fibers like bamboo or alpaca. These yarns are great for creating unique textures, adding sparkle to your projects, or even creating extra warmth. Mohair, for example, is super fluffy and cozy, while metallic yarns can add a little bling to accessories. But they can also be tricky to work with. Mohair and angora can be a bit fuzzy, which may make them harder to handle, especially if you're working with fine stitches. And they often require more delicate care to keep them looking nice. So let's get into these materials a little bit more in detail. Wool is one of the most common yarns, and it's soft, elastic, and incredibly warm. Wool is perfect for those cozy winter garments like sweaters, blankets, and shawls. Wool's insulation is great, and it takes dye beautifully, giving you those rich, vibrant colors. These are the types of yarns you're going to see a lot in like the hand-dyed yarn shops, so really fancy yarns. Most of them are going to be wool. But a downside is that some people find wool really itchy, and it can require special care like hand washing or dry cleaning to keep it looking nice. Also, some people are actually allergic to lanolin, which is in wool. Next up, we have cotton. Cotton yarn is breathable, absorbent, and cool to the touch, making it ideal for those warm weather projects. Think light summer garments or dishcloths. Cotton is also very durable and easy to care for, but it doesn't have the elasticity that wool does, which means it can be a bit stiffer and doesn't stretch as much. Acrylic yarn is a popular synthetic choice. It's the type of yarn that you're going to see up and down the aisles at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's. It comes in a lot more colors than wool or cotton. It's soft, lightweight, and budget friendly, which makes it perfect for a wide range of projects, especially for kids' items or blankets. It's super easy to care for since it's machine washable, and you can find it in almost any color you can imagine. The downside is that it can pill over time, and it's not as breathable as natural fibers like wool or cotton. If you're looking for something luxurious, silk and linen are your go-to materials. These fibers have smooth, shiny texture and are perfect for lightweight summer garments or accessory. Both silk and linen are breathable and natural, but they come with a really big price tag that require delicate care to avoid damage, so they might not be the best choice for beginners. Lastly, we have alpaca and mohair. These fibers are incredibly soft, lightweight, provide excellent insulation, making them ideal for soft shawls, scarves, and winter garments. While they're super cozy, alpaca and mohair can be delicate and a bit harder to work with. Plus, they can shed. But if you want that luxe feel, they're definitely worth considering. All right, let's quickly break down the pros and cons of each of these yarns so you can make an informed decision next time you're at the yarn store. Wool. Pros: it's warm, elastic, and takes dye well. Cons: can be a bit itchy and need special care. Cotton. Pros: they're breathable, durable, and easy to care for. Cons: they lack elasticity and feel stiff. Acrylic. Pros: affordable, washable, and comes in tons of colors. Cons: less breathable and can pill over time. Silk. Pros: luxurious, smooth, and natural. Cons: expensive and delicate care required. Alpaca. Pros: soft, warm, and insulating. Cons: can shed and requires careful handling. Now for yarn weight. Yarn weight describes how thick your yarn is. So if you want to look at a label, most of the labels will have your little crochet hook right here. Don't mind my nails, sorry. It'll tell you what the recommended size hook is for this. This one says 5mm or an I for US. It also has a spot for a gauge swatch, which if you watch my last video, I talk about hook sizes and gauge swatches and why that is so important for your finished project. Tension plays a big part in crochet, and my tension is a lot different than somebody else's. So I might need to size up or size down a hook based off of the yarn label. So what you can do, it says gauge for 4x4. If you do a 4x4 inch square, it should be 12, right here it says it should be 12 single crochet stitches. And up here it should say, it says 15 rows. So if you are not getting that measurement, you need to go up or down depending on if you are too small or too big in your gauge. So that's a really easy way. Also, if you want to know the weight of your yarn, there's a cute little yarn scheme right here. And this is most labels. I do have a label here that doesn't have nearly as much on here, but right here it says it's a medium worsted weight. So it's a size 4 medium worsted. And it even says, again, it even says use a 5mm crochet hook. So it is really trying to get you to use the right hook for this. I use a G hook on this a lot, and that's like a 3.75, 3.5, and it's fine. So you don't have to use the same hook every single time with this yarn. It depends on your pattern, and it depends on your gauge and your tension. So let's go and look at all of the yarn weights. Let's start with the lightest yarn weight that I know of, and that's lace, crochet lace. They're in these cool little spool things. These use a really, really tiny hook, and they are great for making tiny, intricate lace-like patterns. I actually make these clips right here. They're little lace clips, and I can put the link for the pattern to this in my description. But this uses a C hook, I believe, or D hook. Very, very small to get the little lace like feel. So it's basically using thread. The next one is fingering and sport weight. So that is this. So do you see how small this is? I don't have the label, Sorry, I get rid of most of my labels. Otherwise I would have a whole house full of just labels and I'm not very organized. But this, I don't know why there's a chain in there. But this is sport weight or fine weight. These yarns are perfect for detailed, delicate projects. You can make shawls or like this shirt that I made, and I'll link this pattern below as well. Something that's very flowy and it's very lightweight. Perfect for summer things, I think. Now, why would you choose a yarn like this? Well, the pros are that it's great for fine detailed work, perfect for intricate stitches and those delicate designs. Plus, it gives your finished pieces a lightweight feel, making it great for items like lightweight socks or soft baby blankets or a shirt or a dress, something that's not going to completely weigh you down. On the flip side, because it's finer, it can take longer to work up, and some projects can feel a little more delicate or fragile. So while it's wonderful for detailed pieces, it does require more patience. Next up is worsted weight yarn. One of the most popular yarn weights out there. It's super versatile and it's often used for items like sweaters, blankets, and scarves. My granny made this blanket for me. Whenever I was really little, I was probably 3 or 4 when she made this. It's probably queen sized. And it has held all of this time. I'm 32 now, and I've machine washed it, and we've spilt on it and got it really dirty, and it's still perfect. I've only had to repair it once. So that's pretty good for an old blanket like that. And this is using worsted weight acrylic yarn. It's easy for beginners to work with or anyone looking to finish a project faster. It's perfect for a wide range of projects, from cozy scarves to comfy blankets. The main downside is it's not as fine as lighter weights, so you won't get as much of an intricate detail. But for most everyday projects, this is the sweet spot. Moving on to bulky and chunky yarns. This is where things really start to get cozy. If you're looking for projects that work up fast and provide warmth, these are your best friends. They're also really great for amigurumis. So this is a little cat that I made for my daughters for Halloween. This is great because it covers the stitches. You don't get as wholly of a stitch, and you can work them up really fast, which is great. But there are a couple of things to keep in mind with bulky yarn. Bulky yarns can be a bit stiff and heavy, and sometimes they lack the drape you get with lighter weights. So while it's perfect for warmth and structure, it might not be ideal for everything. Finally, let's talk about Aran and heavy worsted weight yarns. This is probably my thickest one. This is a super bulky yarn. Jumbo! That number 7 there. And it says that you use a 19mm hook for this. I don't have a 19mm hook. I used a 10mm hook for this for my ferret. These are even thicker than regular worsted yarns and are great for thick garments or cozy home decor projects like throw blankets and pillows. Aran weight yarn gives your project more structure, which is perfect for creating sturdy, warm pieces. If you want something extra cozy like a thick sweater or a chunky scarf, this yarn weight is your best bet. It also works up very quickly, just like bulky yarn. However, just like bulky yarn, Aran can become heavy and stiff, and sometimes it's just too thick for intricate patterns or finer details, so it's really best for projects where warmth and structure are the main goals. So how do you pick the best yarn for your project? First, consider the project type. What are you making? Are you crafting something cozy and warm like a scarf or a hat, or do you need something lightweight and breathable for a summer top? For warmth, wool and alpaca are great choices, while cotton and linen are perfect for breathable garments. Make sure the yarn suits the function of your project. You don't want a bulky yarn when you need something lightweight. Next, factor in care requirements. Do you want a yarn that's easy to care for and can go straight into the washing machine? Go for something like acrylic or superwash wool. But if you're working on a special piece and don't mind a little extra care, yarns like silk or cashmere may be worth the effort, even though they require hand washing and more maintenance. Another thing to consider is your budget. Silk, alpaca, and other luxury fibers can be pricey. So if you're on a budget, acrylic or cotton are great affordable alternatives. Finally, match the yarn to your pattern. This is probably the most important part if you're using a pattern. Check the pattern's recommended yarn weight and fiber content. If it calls for worsted weight, make sure your yarn matches that thickness. This is key to making sure your project turns out as expected. I actually started working on a project recently, and I bought all this yarn because it shows that I needed like Chanel yarn, and it normally comes in a bulky size. And so I just bought bulky size Chanel yarn. It all came, I started working it up, and I was like, oh, this isn't right. My hook kept sliding off of it, and it actually made the stuffy completely wrong. So I had to start all over. I had to buy new yarn. It was a whole thing. Don't do what I did. Always check your pattern no matter what, and just learn from my mistakes. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe for more crochet tips. Happy making, and I'll see you in the next video.